What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button because today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind. So picture this. I'm scrolling through Reddit at 3 a.m. last month, procrastinating on editing my last video, when I stumble across this archaeological post that literally made me spit out my energy drink. We're talking about entire civilizations more advanced than us in some ways that just vanished. No trace. Gone. Like they never existed. And guys, I went down the biggest rabbit hole of my life, and I'm taking you with me. Before we dive in, let me tell you why I became absolutely obsessed with this topic. I've been making videos about history and mysteries for 3 years now, but nothing, and I mean nothing, has kept me awake at night like these stories. I'm talking about staying up until 6 a.m. reading archaeological papers, texting my history professor friend at weird hours, and driving my roommate crazy by constantly talking about ancient civilizations over breakfast. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be just as obsessed as I am. Let's start with a civilization that completely broke my brain. I want you to imagine the year 2600 BCE. Most of the world is still figuring out basic farming, right? People are living in mud huts, struggling with the most basic technology. But somewhere in what's now Pakistan and India, there's this civilization that would make modern city planners weep with envy. I'm talking about the Indus Valley civilization, and guys, when I first saw the archaeological evidence, I literally had to pause the documentary and walk around my apartment to process what I was seeing. So I'm looking at these excavation photos of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, and my mind is just exploding. These people built cities with street grids more organized than Manhattan. Every single street intersects at perfect 90-degree angles. The main boulevards are 30 feet wide, wider than most streets in my hometown. And here's the part that made me question everything. Every single house, had its own private bathroom connected to a citywide sewage system. People in London didn't have proper sewage until 1865, but these guys figured it out 4,600 years ago. But here's where this story gets absolutely insane, and this is the part that's been haunting me for weeks. Archaeologists have excavated dozens of Indus Valley sites. We're talking about a civilization that covered an area twice the size of Texas. And you know what they haven't found? Weapons, palaces, evidence of warfare. It's like these people created a massive, peaceful utopia that lasted for 700 years without a single major conflict. In the Bronze Age, when everyone else was constantly at war. Now here's something that's driving archaeologists absolutely crazy, and it's driving me crazy too. The Indus Valley people had a writing system. We've found over 4,000 inscriptions on seals, pottery, and metal objects, but nobody, and I mean nobody, can read it. We've had the world's best linguists, computer scientists, and cryptographers trying to crack this code for nearly a century, and we're still clueless. It's like they left us a message from the past, but we lost the translation key. And then, get this, around 1900 BCE they just disappeared. Not conquered, not destroyed by war, not wiped out by a plague. They just left, gradually abandoned their incredible cities and vanished into history. 4.5 million people gone. Some theories say climate change dried up their rivers. Others think earthquakes changed the landscape. But honestly, we have no idea what happened to one of humanity's greatest civilizations. Okay, so that story alone could have made this video, but I'm just getting started. Let me tell you about something that literally gave me nightmares. The Sea Peoples. Picture this. It's 1200 BCE, and the Bronze Age Mediterranean world is thriving. Mighty empires that have stood for centuries. Trade routes connecting 3 continents. Palaces full of gold and art. And then, out of nowhere, these mysterious invaders appear and destroy everything. I'm not exaggerating when I say these sea peoples caused the ancient world's version of the apocalypse. The Hittite Empire, one of the superpowers of the ancient world, completely collapsed within a few decades. The Mycenaean palaces in Greece were burned and abandoned. Cyprus was devastated. Troy fell. Even Egypt, the most powerful empire on earth, barely survived multiple invasions. It's like someone hit the reset button on an entire era of human civilization. The only reason we know about the Sea Peoples is because the Egyptians kept detailed records of their battles against them. Pharaoh Ramesses III left inscriptions describing these terrifying warriors who came from the islands and from the midst of the sea. The Egyptian artists carved reliefs showing these invaders with distinctive feathered headdresses and round shields, fighting in both land battles and epic naval confrontations that would make any war movie look tame. But here's the part that really freaks me out. These weren't just military raids. The Egyptian records describe the Sea Peoples traveling with their families, their belongings, everything they owned loaded onto ships and ox-drawn carts. This wasn't conquest for treasure or territory. This was an entire people on the move, desperately searching for a new home, and they were willing to destroy anyone who stood in their way. And here's the kicker that's been frustrating archaeologists for over a century. We have absolutely no idea who these people were. The Egyptians gave them names like the Peleset, Cheker, Shikalesh, and Denyen. But matching these to actual peoples is like trying to solve a 3,000-year-old cold case with half the evidence destroyed. Some scholars think they came from the Greek islands, others say Anatolia. Some even suggest they came from as far west as Spain or Italy. The theories about the Sea Peoples are absolutely wild. Some historians think they were climate refugees fleeing droughts and famines in their homelands. Others believe they were displaced by volcanic eruptions or earthquakes. There's even a theory that they were part of a massive domino effect, peoples pushing other peoples, creating a chain reaction of migration and destruction that swept across the ancient world like a tsunami of chaos. What's really mind-blowing is the archaeological evidence of destruction from this period. Layer after layer of ash and rubble in dozens of sites across the Mediterranean, all dating to the same time period. It's like reading the pages of an ancient disaster movie written in stone and pottery shards. Cities that had flourished for centuries were reduced to ruins almost overnight. Okay, guys, if you think those stories were crazy, buckle up because I'm about to tell you about a discovery that literally broke the timeline of human history. In 1994, a Kurdish shepherd in Turkey was walking across a hill when he stumbled across some carved stones. What he had found was Göbekli Tepe, and when archaeologists dated it, they had to rewrite every textbook about human civilization. Are you ready for this? Göbekli Tepe is 11,500 years old. Let me put that in perspective. It's 6,000 years older than Stonehenge, 7,000 years older than the pyramids. When this place was being built, humans had barely figured out agriculture. We were still hunter-gatherers living in small tribes. Yet somehow, they managed to quarry, transport, and erect massive stone pillars weighing up to 20 tons each. It shouldn't be possible, but there it is, carved in stone. I've been staring at photos of Göbekli Tepe for weeks, trying to wrap my head around how they built this place. We're talking about circular enclosures with T-shaped limestone pillars arranged in perfect rings. These aren't rough cave paintings. They're precisely carved reliefs of lions, bulls, foxes, snakes, and abstract symbols that we still can't interpret. The level of artistic sophistication is absolutely mind-blowing for people who supposedly lived in simple hunter-gatherer societies. But here's what really blows my mind about Göbekli Tepe. Building this place would have required coordinated effort from hundreds, maybe thousands of people. They had to organize massive work parties, coordinate food supplies, develop specialized skills for carving and construction. This suggests a level of social organization that completely contradicts everything we thought we knew about Neolithic peoples. It's like discovering that cavemen had smartphones. Some archaeologists now believe Göbekli Tepe was an ancient pilgrimage site that drew people from across the region. Imagine tribes traveling hundreds of miles to participate in religious ceremonies at this incredible temple complex. If that's true, it means complex religion and social organization existed thousands of years before we thought it was possible. It's rewriting the story of human civilization from the ground up. And then, here's the part that gives me absolute chills. Around 8,000 years ago, the people who built Göbekli Tepe deliberately buried the entire site under tons of soil. Not abandoned due to war or disaster, deliberately covered up. Why would you spend thousands of years building the most incredible temple complex on Earth, only to bury it like you're trying to hide it from future generations? It's the ultimate ancient mystery.
Now guys, here's what's been keeping me awake at night since I started researching these stories. All three of these civilizations have one thing in common: they achieved something incredible, something that shouldn't have been possible for their time, and then they vanished or were deliberately hidden. The Indus Valley people created urban planning that wouldn't be matched for millennia. The Sea peoples destroyed empires that had stood for centuries. The builders of Göbekli Tepe achieved architectural miracles that challenge everything we know about the Stone Age. This makes me wonder, were our ancestors way more capable than we give them credit for? We always think of human progress as a straight line from primitive to advanced, with us at the top. But these discoveries suggest that human knowledge and capability has risen and fallen throughout history. Maybe ancient peoples had technologies, organizational systems, or knowledge that we've lost completely. Here's something that's really been bothering me as I researched these stories: climate change plays a role in all three mysteries. The Indus Valley civilization declined during a period of severe drought. The Bronze Age collapse happened during a time of climate instability across the Mediterranean. Göbekli Tepe was built during the dramatic environmental changes at the end of the Ice Age. It's like our ancestors were constantly dealing with environmental crises that we can barely imagine. What's incredible is that new archaeological technology is helping us uncover more pieces of these puzzles every year. We've got ground-penetrating radar revealing hidden structures, LiDAR scanning uncovering lost cities in jungles, genetic analysis of ancient remains showing unexpected migration patterns, and isotope analysis revealing where ancient people lived and what they ate. We're literally using space-age technology to solve Stone Age mysteries. Ancient DNA analysis has been absolutely revolutionary in understanding these mysteries. We're discovering that the ancient world was way more connected than we ever imagined. People, ideas, and technologies were moving across vast distances thousands of years ago. This helps explain how advanced techniques could spread so quickly, but it also raises new questions about how these civilizations could vanish so completely. One of the most frustrating parts of researching these stories is the undeciphered writing systems. The Indus Valley script laughs at our best linguists. Linear from the Minoans remains mostly mysterious. These ancient texts could contain the answers to every question we have about these civilizations, their beliefs, their history, their reasons for disappearing, but they're locked away in symbols we can't read. These aren't just fascinating ancient stories, they have real implications for our world today. They show us how quickly complex societies can collapse when faced with environmental stress or external pressures. They remind us that human achievement isn't always linear, and that incredible knowledge and capabilities can be lost forever if we're not careful to preserve them. Every year brings new discoveries that add pieces to these ancient puzzles. Underwater archaeology is revealing submerged cities from when sea levels were lower. Satellite imagery is uncovering hidden structures buried under centuries of vegetation. Advanced dating methods are giving us more precise timelines. We're in a golden age of archaeological discovery, and the next breakthrough could happen tomorrow. I honestly believe that in our lifetime, maybe in the next decade, we're going to see major breakthroughs in understanding these lost civilizations. Maybe artificial intelligence will finally crack the Indus Valley script. Perhaps underwater explorations will reveal the homeland of the Sea peoples. Or maybe new excavations will uncover exactly why Göbekli Tepe was buried. The next great discovery could completely rewrite human history. So here's my challenge to you: don't just watch this video and move on. These mysteries need curious minds asking questions, supporting archaeological research, and staying fascinated by our incredible past. Subscribe to archaeology journals, follow excavation updates, visit museums, and most importantly, never stop being amazed by the fact that we're still uncovering the secrets of our own species. Because here's the truth that keeps me making these videos: somewhere out there, buried under thousands of years of soil and sand, are the answers to humanity's greatest mysteries. The Indus Valley people, the Sea Peoples, and the builders of Göbekli Tepe may be gone, but their stories are still being written by every archaeologist with a trowel and every curious person who refuses to accept that the past is fully known. These lost civilizations remind us that human history is far stranger, more complex, and more wonderful than we ever dared to imagine. And the best part? We've probably only scratched the surface of what's out there waiting to be discovered. So smash that like button if this blew your mind, subscribe for more mind-bending archaeological mysteries, and let me know in the comments which of these lost civilizations fascinates you most. Trust me, this rabbit hole goes way deeper than you think.